You signed Deshaun Watson to like the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history. For this performance, like Baker Mayfield
Yeah.
and Tampa Bay's outplaying him statistically. All right, welcome back to the LionEyes.tv podcast. Here we are in episode 3, where we're talking about NFL Week 2, doing a quick recap, talking about what's happening around the league, important players, top 10 QBs, picks for next week, and a Thursday Night Football preview. So we're gonna begin today with like a run around the league. So Vikings versus Eagles. So what do you have to say about that one? Thursday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football, Vikings versus Eagles. Last week, during our podcast, I said that the Eagles were going to beat the Vikings, and they did. This was a sloppy game at first with a couple of turnovers, but I think that this game sort of just proved that the Eagles can overcome like sloppy football, and they're good enough to win games where they have to run the ball. Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown for 200 yards in a game this season yet. He only threw for I think 170 against the Vikings, but DeAndre Swift was getting like Derrick Henry carries to 175 yards. So they can run the football and they can win games. That's what I took from it.
Yeah, I was waiting for like the Eagles to start pounding the run game. Like I was waiting for it, and they finally started doing it, and it started working, and that's how they took over the game. But
Yeah.
I don't know, this Eagles team is not really looking like the same one as last year. Like last year, they were firing on all cylinders on offense. Like everything was looking smooth. I don't know. Sometimes it looks like they're struggling on offense here. And I mean, they lost their OC, who's doing actually pretty good things in Indianapolis so far. But like you said, with the run game, they found a lot of success in it. Jalen Hurts is a power run quarterback. They have a lot of good running backs. Kenneth Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Penny. Like they're a good O-line. They're built to run the football. They just have to keep doing it. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we need to worry about the Eagles though. I mean, I've seen a lot of people like say things about Jalen Hurts and the way that he's played these past couple of weeks, but I wouldn't be too worried. I think that season just started. Hasn't played football for a few months now, like in a real game, in a regular season game. So I think he's just getting back into his routine.
yeah, the only thing that really concerns me is that I don't know, they're not keeping up these leads that they had. Like in the Patriots game, they let them come back, and the Vikings, they kind of let them sneak back in a little bit. But
Right.
besides that, I think the Eagles gonna get back to like the form that we saw last year. They just need to start getting back into the rhythm of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I think that game probably could have went a lot differently than what it did. Justin Jefferson had that catch in the red zone and then fumbled the football out of bounds for a touchback. So that could have easily been 6, and probably changed the outcome of the game. I mean, they lost by 6.
Yeah.
So, but I was impressed with Kirk Cousins. I mean, I think that he's a solid quarterback. It's unfortunate that this year is probably most likely going to be his last year with the Vikings. 'Cause I think that he's played very well for the Vikings.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, Kirk Cousins is definitely just not the problem on the Vikings at all. Like, he's playing good football. I mean, besides like the 4 turnovers in this past game, like a lot of fumbles, they have 7 turnovers this whole year. Like, they're one of like the best 0-2 teams I've seen, if that
Yeah.
makes it better.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, them and the Chargers for sure.
yeah, I just think like they have a lot of talent on offense, as we've seen. Like Kirk Cousins and that offense, like they could really compete with other teams. But
Offensively.
yeah, but their OC, I mean their O line is kind of like not where it needs to be, and we saw them get like a lot of pressure from the Eagles, and their defense is just like not really that good, and it's just not going to be good enough to compete, and that's why they're 0-2.
It's probably time for some changes in Minnesota, I think.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell needs to get his like homegrown young QB and start winning it from there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next game up, Giants versus Cardinals.
Yeah.
Giants started the season 60 and 0 in the first 6 quarters, but something flipped in the second half. what was it? Did like Brian Dable give a speech in the locker room, or like what
No,
happened?
so I saw a couple reports that supposedly Brian Dable took over play calling in the second half of that game, and Mike Kafka took a back seat. So maybe that was the difference. Maybe Mike Kafka just needs to stop calling the plays, and Brian Dable needs to be calling the plays. But honestly, it's kind of defeating to see the Giants have to play catch up against the Arizona Cardinals, because you're not coming back down 21 to the Eagles. You're not coming back down 21 to like I don't know, literally any other team besides like the bottom like 3-4 teams in the league, which just so happens to be like the Cardinals, teams like that. So like I'm glad we got the win, but geez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, the Giants is just like, I mean, like you said, I saw that on Twitter. Brian Dable started calling plays, but like Mike Kafka was almost got head coaching jobs last year just because of what he did as an OC for the Giants. So it's so quick how things change in the NFL. But like you said, they were down 21-0 to the Cardinals, and like they found a way to came back.
It was 28-7 in the third quarter. With 10 minutes in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's just like you can't be sacrificing a lead like that. Like you can't be
No.
getting yourself digging that hole so deep. And it's just like this Giants team, they only really have Darren Waller on offense now, Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley's going to be out now for a few weeks with the sprained ankle thing.
That's not certain yet.
I mean, I don't think he's going to play Thursday. I don't think but like, thank God it's not a big injury. But like, come on,
Definitely.
Saquon's like your only big piece, and it really just shows like this team is just like so bereft of talent. Besides those like two spots, like even like Evan Neal, their right tackle, who everyone was high on coming into the year, who finished his rookie season pretty good, has not been looking good this year, and like their O-line has not been looking as good as it was last year. Like Daniel Jones has been facing a lot of pressure. It's just like,
Did Evan Neal even play? Did he play the first game?
did
I'm
he?
not sure. I think we had to like scramble a little bit for our offensive lineman, because I don't think that we were fully healthy.
Yeah, let me see. But like,
No, he did play.
where?
Yeah, he did play.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, the Giants, they just don't have a lot of talent on the team, and it shows. It really does show.
I just want to see Daniel Jones throw the ball more. That's all I want to see. I want to see him throw the ball down the field. That's what I've been saying for the past like 3 years. I just want to see him throw the ball down the field. I know he can run. I know we can give it to Saquon. I know we can throw Saquon a screen pass. I just want to see him throw the ball down the field. Let's see what Jalen Hyatt is made of. Let's see what our receivers can do. Let's see him throw the ball down the field. I mean, you saw a couple of those throws go to Jalen Hyatt, 2 catches for 89 yards, and they weren't really run after the catch. They weren't run after the catch at all. So I want to see him throw the ball down the field more.
I mean, yeah, like, if Brian Dable didn't like believe in him to throw the ball down the field, why did they give him $45 million? You know what I mean? Like, you paid him the money. Let's see what he could do. Like, you paid him the money. Let's have him do more than just throw like short slants, short screens, just like, dump off passes. Like Daniel Jones, I mean, he got that. Some people don't believe in him. Some people give him a bad rap, but he played pretty well last season. He could throw the football. He has a pretty good deep ball. Like, he found Jalen Hyatt down the field a few times. They need to. I don't know. They just don't have a lot of talent. It's just hard. They just really don't have a lot of talent. It's really based on Brian Dable's scheme and play calling, and coaching.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, man, I really want Saquon to be 100%. So we see like how we play on Thursday. We'll see.
Yeah. So moving on to Steelers versus the Browns. This one was a hard watch at some points.
Bro. At some points, the whole game was just disgusting.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start. I mean, The Steelers. I guess we'll start with the Steelers offense because I mean, they scored. What was the final score of the game? 27-22?
It was 26-22 Steelers.
26-22. And it was their defense that scored practically all the points. Like
Yeah.
the pick six in the beginning.
Pick six, and then the game-winning fumble six.
Yeah, the T.J. Watt fumble. Yeah. But like the Steelers' offense is looking really, really bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the only bright spot is George Pickens. Like he found himself open and scored that touchdown practically himself, and he was open a lot more times. But like Pickett just didn't find him.
That game was so weird. I mean, it started off with all those turnovers, and then the Browns go down the field. Nick Chubb gets injured, which was terrible to see. And then, I mean, for a little bit there, it seemed like the Browns were going to pull away. But Deshaun Watson looked so bad. Like, he looked so bad. I don't know what is going on with Deshaun Watson, but he's not looking like the Deshaun Watson that we all know.
Yeah, is that guy from Houston walking through that door? I don't know, bro. Is this who Deshaun Watson is? I don't know. But I mean, the Browns, like, losing Nick Chubb is a terrible, terrible season-changing, back-breaking injury. Like, he is their engine on offense. He is their offense. And now with Deshaun...
You hate to see it, but, I mean, at the same time, you have to understand that injuries do happen, and it's next man up. I mean, Jerome Ford looked pretty good. He had, like, 16 carries for 106 yards.
They just signed Kareem Hunt, too.
Yeah, just signed Kareem Hunt, so... You just got to move. You got to move. It's unfortunate you lose Nick Chubb, but you got to move. I need to see more out of the Browns, though.
Yeah, I mean, their coach, Kevin Stefanski, like, he won a Coach of the Year at one point. Like, what happened to his offense? Like, usually offensive coaches, they take over offense. Their side of the football looks good. You know, it happens all the time. The coach needs to figure out his side of the football, and right now the offense just looks really difficult. You signed Deshaun Watson to like the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history for this performance. Like Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay's outplaying him statistically.
Yeah.
But like they have really good personnel on offense and defense. They have a lot of talent. But they're just not clicking on offense. Like Deshaun Watson, he was a playmaker in Houston. He did a lot of things like on his own, like a lot of deep balls down the field. And that's not really like Kevin Stefanski's style. He's a lot more like timing, like Kyle Shanahan type of offense. But still, like they have to find a way to mesh styles. Like tailor your offense to your quarterback. But like also with the Steelers too, it's just talking about offense. Like Matt Canada, like it just... That's another one. It's just so hard to watch.
A lot of people were blaming Matt Canada as the issue and not so much Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kenny Pickett didn't look great. Like, he missed some throws and stuff, but, like, the running, he has no help. He's getting pressured all the time. There's no running offense at all. Like, Najee Harris is literally looking like Zeke, even though he's, like, how young is Najee Harris? Like, he's, like...
Yeah, he's young.
He's looking washed already. Like, he's looking slow. I mean, he was never fast, but, like, he was looking extra slow. Like, it's, like, bad. The other running back, Jalen Warren, is looking like a lot more explosive for them. He had some pretty good plays. But their offense is just, like, looks so difficult, and it's just so hard to watch. Like, they're not... Yeah. I think the broadcast said something. They're, like... The Steelers had like one first down in the whole first half or something like that, like something close to that. They're just like ridiculous. Like they were just not moving the football at all.
Yeah, that game was just really like a clash of two terrible offenses just going at it. The defenses look good though on both sides.
And it just like, I mean, I was higher on the Browns than most in the beginning of the year, but now I have to take a step back, especially with Nick Chubb's injury. And like, I don't know, their offense, it just doesn't make sense to me why their offense is so bad. They have so much talent. An offensive coach, like they should figure it out, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So moving on to another AFC North matchup, Bengals versus Ravens. This one was another bad one.
I mean, Ravens start 2-0, Bengals start 0-2. And that's Lamar looked he looked solid. Um, Joe Burrow, people are saying his calf is still not 100%, which I believe it. But I'm also not worried about the Bengals too much. Again, they started 0-2 this season. They started 0-2 last season. They still made it to the AFC Championship last season. So I think that the Bengals will be okay. I think that they need to rest Joe Burrow for a week or so, let him get 100%, and then they'll be back. But the Ravens, they look pretty good.
I don't know. I'm more worried than you are about the Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's injury is a little concerning, to be honest. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Hopefully it's not long, but like he did not look like himself. That
No.
offense is not looking like itself. And it's just 0-2 already, and he's going to be out now. It's really just not looking good for them. Their season
Yeah.
could really take a big, big, big downhill turn from here.
I can see that too.
It's like it's a scary proposition because they're a good team, but they could just have a really unfortunate year.
Yeah.
Like things could just not break their way. Like literally, if like let's say Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt, they still could be 0-2, but then they'll figure a way out because they still have Joe Burrow. But if Joe Burrow goes down, they start the season whatever, they could dig themselves a hole so deep they might not be able to come back. You know, it could get
Yeah.
bad, but hopefully not.
Right. Yeah.
But with the Ravens though, like I really like the new offense. Lamar Jackson is looking like Lamar Jackson of like 2019, Lamar Jackson of old. Maybe not 2019, but he's looking pretty good.
Not entirely. I still think that he's like, getting acclimated into like playing in Baltimore again, like after that long contract dispute. But I mean, it seems like he's having fun out there to start 0-2. I mean, 2-0. Their offense looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that 25 plus points in back-to-back games, like
yeah.
that's pretty good for Lamar. Like this might be his best receiving core he's ever had in his career. That young rookie
Which
Zay.
is crazy to say because it's really not even that crazy.
Yeah, it's what is it? Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, Odell,
Odell. They still got Devin Duvernay. Still got Rashad
Duvernay,
Bateman. They got
Bateman.
the same players. Mark
Yeah,
Andrews,
yeah,
who
and
caught a
they're
touchdown.
even though what was their running back who went down? Even though he went down, they have Gus
J.K.
Edwards.
Dobbins.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
enough of a running attack to be fine. And Lamar
But these are
Jackson,
names. They have the
the
same,
same
like the
people.
same offense. Like you're just swapping. I mean, a couple years ago it was Marquise Brown, who was your draft pick, who was your fast guy, who thought was going to be the number one receiver. Now it's Zay Flowers, but I think Zay Flowers is maybe better, but like how much better than
Yeah,
Marquise Brown when he came into the league?
I
So it's
mean,
like I don't know.
I still don't think the Ravens are going to be able to compete for like the highest level of the leagues. But
No,
I mean the
I don't see
AFC,
them doing too
their
much.
division is wide open now. You know they could definitely
Yeah,
win their
yeah,
division. It's wide open.
yeah. I agree.
All right, moving on to Chiefs versus Jags. Um, we mentioned this in the beginning of the year with the Chiefs. Their wide receiving core. They really don't have any receivers Mahomes could trust besides Kelsey, and it's really
Right.
showing because they don't. They're constantly trotting out different receivers. He's throwing to different guys. He can't figure out who to trust, and the offense is not looking like the typical high-powered KC offense,
No.
which is like it's rare to see from an Andy Reid team.
When was the
Honestly,
last time? When was the last time you saw the Chiefs put up 20 points in Week 1 and then 17 points in Week 2? 20 points and then 17 points for the Kansas City Chiefs.
yeah, that's not
Something's
typical.
not right. Something's not right. It's
Yeah,
not typical at all.
they got to get their. They got to figure out that offense, and I trust that they will. Like they have enough. It's Mahomes, Andy Reid, but they got to figure out who they could trust on offense, which receivers to go to, which ones are gonna build chemistry with Mahomes and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
honestly, bro, their defense is pretty good. Like they have a lot of young, good talent. Their D line, Chris Jones is back, so like they put pressure on the quarterback. Like their defense is pretty good. Honestly, this might be Patrick Mahomes, like one of his best defense he ever had.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, the Jaguars, they were scraping for points. I mean, they had some really good opportunities to score touchdowns with good field position, and Chiefs defense stopped them. Trevor Lawrence couldn't get it done. So, I mean, but on the offensive side, the Chiefs need to figure some things out. It's good to see that Travis Kelce is back and healthy. He caught a touchdown, but some things definitely do need to be figured out.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm looking at the Chiefs' schedule right now. They got the Bears, Jets, Vikings,
I
Broncos,
saw that. They have an easy
Chargers,
schedule.
Broncos.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good stretch for them where they could like beat up on some mediocre teams, get their
Some
offense
terrible
figured out
teams.
before they start going Dolphins, Eagles. But I feel like they'll get it figured out. And with the Jags, like honestly, I thought they would be better than what I've seen so far. Like I was pretty impressed with them heading into the end of last season, especially after that Chargers win. But right now they're not really like looking the same.
Right, you got to capitalize on these opportunities, man. When you get the ball at like midfield to start a possession, you got to score a touchdown. I mean, they didn't even score a touchdown. That's like the difference to me between quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes. You know, like Patrick Mahomes will go down. Like even in games like these, like where the defenses are playing really well, Patrick Mahomes will go down and score 2 touchdowns, while the other opposing quarterback will go down and kick a field goal. You know, the game was 17-9. There was only 2 touchdowns from the Chiefs and a field goal, and then 3 field goals from the Jaguars. So, you gotta score touchdowns.
You gotta make the most of your field position, like and your red zone opportunities. And the Chiefs really don't turn over the ball either. So,
no.
All right, heading into the last.
Actually, they have been a little bit.
A little
bit. Not Mahomes, but everybody else.
Yeah. Heading into the last game, Lions versus the Seahawks. For those Lions hypers, I guess, for the people who root for the Lions, who thought they were going to be really good this year, this is an unfortunate loss for them, honestly. I mean, the Lions are still a young team. Like, I feel like they're learning how to win, but this is a game that you kind of have to win if you want to beat that team, and they didn't win.
They played a good game. So did the Seahawks. The Seahawks played a really good game, especially in the second half. The Seahawks played a really good game in the second half. Respect to Jared Goff for tying it up in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were down like 10, like 8 minutes.
31 to 21. They were down after he threw a pick too.
Yeah, exactly. Threw a pick 6, got it back, scored a touchdown, and then again, the defense came up big. We saw it a couple weeks ago on opening night in Kansas City, where the defense made some big plays. Defense made another big play. They got a stop on the Seahawks, and then Jared Goff went down, kicked the field goal, and unfortunately, they just couldn't win.
Yeah, I mean, once it gets to overtime, like 50-50 at that point. But like, honestly, like the Seahawks are missing both their tackles. Like the Lions, they should have got into the quarterback more, pressure Geno, and made him more uncomfortable, and don't let him like look so good on offense, because when Geno's comfortable, he can make really good throws.
Yeah. I agree.
That Lions defense, like you said, it stepped up when they needed it to at the end, but throughout the game, it just wasn't present enough, and they really need to get that figured out. They really want to be the team they want to be, because that offense is there. They have a really high-powered offense, but their defense needs to step it up a little bit.
Did you see the Seahawks players on IG Live after the game with the blue ski masks? Trolling Gardner Johnson.
Bro, I heard Gardner Johnson might be out for the season too.
What?
Torn pec. Let me look that up.
No. That's crazy.
Like, that's another big loss for the Lions defense. Yeah, he's on IR, bro. Like,
are you serious?
Yeah, he might come back, but that's another big loss for their defense. They really need to get that defense figured out. So that's not good. But all right. Moving on to Lionized list, where we add into the top 10 teams in the NFL.
You want to talk about the Jets and the Cowboys real quick or no?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the Jets and the Cowboys. First. My bad.
No, you're good. I just couldn't let you move on too fast before we talk about the Jets.
All right. Do you want to start this one off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the Jets suck. So there's really not much to say about that. The Jets are pretty terrible. So you guys need a quarterback. Yeah, 10 points, man. It's not gonna cut it.
Honestly, Zach Wilson was like one of the least of our problems that game. He didn't like. I mean, he had a lot of picks towards the end because he was trying to like get us back in it. But like, he was the least of our problems. I mean, we got eight up by Micah Parsons. Bro. Our O line got destroyed, bro. Our O line is looking atrocious. Like, it was one of the like things I was scared of heading into the year, and like it's like actually showing it to be really scary. Like, we can't protect the quarterback. We can't generate push on offense. Can't get no time for any quarterback to throw the ball down the field. Our only bright spot is like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, but like Breece Hall got like 4 touches. Like, what's going on here? Doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, the Cowboys' defense is like phenomenal. Like, they're gonna get to any quarterback, but like, even our defense, we were just letting Dak just dink and dunk his way down the field. Like, it was just like so annoying. Like, we're supposed to have a really good defense. I know, like, I mean, the Cowboys had double the plays than we did. Like, it was just like not a good game at all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's still hard for me to like fully evaluate the Cowboys until they play a team that actually like puts up a challenge. But what I can say is that their defense is definitely dominant. So they definitely don't have to worry about things on that side of the ball. At least not yet, until they face like a team that can put up some points against them. Dak, I guess he did what he needed to do. He got the ball to CeeDee Lamb, which was good. He had like 11 catches for like 140 yards or something like that. I did see a stat where only like one of those catches or 2 of those catches was on Sauce Gardner. Or maybe none of them was on Sauce Gardner. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Sauce has not like looked like him like as good as he was last year, but like you said with the Cowboys, like they haven't been tested yet. Like Dak Prescott hasn't really been tested yet, and that he needs to be tested. Like, is he gonna throw picks again? We gotta see what's good with Dak.
Right, exactly. And just unfortunately, the Jets couldn't put up enough fight to, force that out of him.
Like, our team is just so deflated. Like, it's bad. I mean, like, we're gonna the Patriots week next week. Zach Wilson. It's gonna be. I mean, we got Bill Belichick having Jets quarterbacks seeing ghosts, bro. Like, he always messed with the young quarterback's head. But Zach Wilson honestly looked like a different quarterback than he did in previous years. He looked a lot more poised, a lot more confident. And I think this is going to be a real test for him. It's going to be a real test for the team to see what kind of team we are. If we're going to be a fighting team who's going to still try to finish strong, or we're just going to lay down, season over. So let's see what happens against the Patriots.
Probably the latter, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I saw this one stat where we haven't won a game against the Patriots like in 14 straight games. So honestly, this is a must-win. And if we lose this game, I don't want to be like season over, but like it might be season over if we lose this game. Because like, honestly,
I like it. Keep the optimism.
Season over, not too optimistic, but let's see. Okay. Moving on to the Line Eyes list, we're heading to the top 10 teams in the NFL. So, I guess I'll start with number 10. I got the Rams. I got the Rams. Honestly, I was really impressed with what I've seen from the Rams. I had them a lot lower in the start of the year. They do not have a lot of talent. I mean, Puka Nacua came out of nowhere. They got Tutu Atwell, who was playing like a bust before, now playing really good. Somehow their O-line magically got solved. Like, Sean McVay is like an offensive genius. That offense is playing really good. Matt Stafford doesn't look like he's just been through like a whole like back and neck injury. He's looking pretty good. And that defense is young. It's young, fast. Like, it's not the best defense, but like, I'm not saying the Rams are going to be pretty good. Right now, they're 1-1. They fought the 49ers really hard.
They played well, I guess.
So I got them heading into 10. I mean, other teams need to step up and knock the Rams off at 10 because right now that's where they are. But moving on, I got the Lions at number 9. Like I said before, I really needed to see them win that game against the Seahawks last week. if they wanted to move up on this ranking, they needed to win that game because that's a game big teams win. It's that defense that really concerns me. They still have a really good offensive team. Like I said before, CJ's out for the year, out for a while. And he's making a big impact not only on the field but like off the field in the culture. Like you saw with the blue ski masks in the locker room. Like he was a leader out there. So they did not get enough pressure on the Seahawks, and like that defense needs to be improved. Moving on to the Jaguars at 8. They really got stifled by the Chiefs, but Trevor Lawrence is looking pretty good, and I feel like he's just gonna keep getting better. He's a young quarterback, but I need to see them look like they did towards the end of last year, like get into a groove on offense. So right now, Jaguars at 8. Looking ahead though, they do play the Houston. They play the Texans and the Colts. So maybe 2 get right games. Start figuring out that offense there.
Yeah.
Number 7, I have the Ravens. 25 points in back-to-back games. Their offense is looking pretty good. Lamar Jackson's looking good. That defense is like classic Ravens culture defense. You know, they're always gonna have a pretty good defense. Like it's the Ravens. But yeah, with the AFC North wide open, Lamar's playing pretty good. So I could see them really taking that division. Bills at 6. I feel like they either blow out a team or lose a close game because they really struggle in close games. But this game against the Raiders is them at their best. Like Josh Allen making plays all over the field, great defense. But I really need to see a run game. Like I'm so tired of talking about it. Like the Bills need to figure out like another plan on offense because all the answers can't be on Josh Allen's shoulders. That's how he makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Moving on, Eagles at 5. Eagles, they're not looking as good. Eagles at 5. Eagles at 5. I mean, the Eagles could easily move up on these rankings. Like, I believe in the Eagles. I feel like they need to get their offense figured out, though. Losing those 2 leads, though, is kind of scary for me. I don't like to see that. I need to see them lean back into the run game, lean back into Jalen Hurts' running attack. He got his money, so he should not be scared to run. So let's get him running. And their defense is not looking as good as it was last year, so they need to get some of that figured out. But once they start clicking again, I feel like they're going to compete with the Cowboys for the NFC East. Chiefs at 4. Right now they need to figure out that offense and those wide receivers, as we talked about before. Pacheco and Kelsey are the only real weapons on offense, but Patrick Mahomes like makes magic out of nothing. And like you said, they know how to strategize and be able to score in important moments and play the field position game. Smart coaching. But their defense is looking a lot better than before. It might be Patrick Mahomes' best defense ever. Cowboys at 3. They're an elite defensive team. I want to see, and like Michael Parsons might be the best defensive player in the game. He's just insanely good at football. And like I could see that Cowboys defense competing with anybody at the top tier offenses in the league. So
Yeah.
I want to see Dak Prescott get tested, though. Their offense hasn't really been in a position where they needed to score. So I'm still waiting on that. Dolphins at 2. I'm really, really impressed by them. I was lower on Tua in the beginning of the year, but Mike McDaniel just an offensive genius. Like he schemes brilliantly. There's so much speed on that offense. It's just insane. And Vic Fangio got that defense playing pretty well. They have a pretty good pass rush. The only thing that concerns me is their O-line. If they come up against a team like, let's say, even the Cowboys, with it, they could pressure Tua, make Tua uncomfortable, mess with his timing. I think it could really disturb this Miami team. Number 1 team in the NFL is the 49ers. I mean, great defense, great offense, talent everywhere, Hall of Famers across the board, like all pros across the board. It's just an insane team. And their only quote-unquote weak spot might be the quarterback, but Brock Purdy's playing pretty well. He doesn't have a big arm, but he fits the scheme perfectly. 49ers at 1, playing the best football so far this year. So.
Okay. Definitely a couple teams that I didn't expect, but overall, I think it's a solid list. I'm going to start the other way. I'm going to go from 1 and work my way down to 10.
Okay.
At number 1, I have the Eagles. I think that it should be the opposite. I think that Jalen Hurts just got paid, so let's be cautious running him. You don't want him to get injured. I mean, you have DeAndre Swift, you have Kenneth Gainwell, you have a couple you have running backs who can run the ball. So you give it to him. I mean, obviously, occasionally, like a zone read or something like that, you run. Sorry, you run Jalen Hurts. Yeah. So I got Eagles at 1. I think that they'll be just fine. Number 2, I have the 49ers. I think that the 49ers are second best team in the league. Again, I had my 1 and 2 haven't changed from last week. Eagles 1, 49ers 2. Dolphins at number 3. Again, Tua Tagovailoa. That man is nice. I mean, a lot of people thought that somehow the Patriots would beat them on Sunday Night Football, but Dolphins played a really good game. Tua did what he needed to do. He did throw a pick, but it's all right. Jalen Waddle played well. Still got Tyreek Hill. And Mostert is running the ball really well. 2 touchdowns that game. Number 4, I have the Chiefs. Again, I mean, I really want to see that offense click, and I really want to see Mahomes, start throwing 4 touchdowns a game like he normally does. I mean, they got the win this past week, so I still think they're at 4. Like you said, the defense is playing really well, so they're at 4 on my list. Number 5, I have the Cowboys. Cowboys defense is dominant, probably the best defense in the league right now. Dak Prescott is getting the job done. He doesn't really need to do too much for right now until he runs into a challenge. The Cowboys have 70 points in 2 games, so they definitely deserve to be top 5 on my list. Number 6, I have the Ravens. Ravens are 2-0, so they haven't lost yet. Like you said, 25 plus points in back-to-back weeks. Lamar is playing well. Defense is playing pretty well. I'd like to see them not say like put it together and play like more of a complete game, but I'd like to see like just bigger plays. Like I haven't seen that big play out of them yet. Besides like a couple of throws to Zay Flowers. But moving on to number 7, I have the Lions. I still think that the Lions are a really good football team. Just unfortunate that, I mean, they got outplayed in the second half. I think they outplayed the Seahawks in the first half, outplayed them probably in the fourth quarter, besides that one turnover that Jared Goff threw, which was costly. But I still think that the Lions are a really good football team on both sides of the ball. David Montgomery did get injured with a thigh bruise, but they have Jahmyr Gibbs, so he'll be able to step in and take over the load. Number 8, I have the Seahawks. The Seahawks did just beat the Lions, but they also lost to the Rams, and I think that the Lions are a better football team than the Rams. So I have the Seahawks at number 8. They are in my top 10. I don't think they were in my top 10 last week. So welcome Seahawks to Sean's top 10. So I have them at number 8. And then number 9, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that I really believe in Trevor Lawrence. Like, I really think that he's a good, young, smart quarterback. I think he's super smart. So I
you a major Trevor Lawrence believer?
Yeah, I'm a Trevor Lawrence believer, and they have a couple games coming up to get right. Like you said, I think you said what, Texans and Colts?
Yeah, Texans and Colts.
Yeah, Texans and Colts. So they'll get right. And then number 10, I have the Bills. Again, the Bills are the Bills, man. It wasn't an impressive win against the Raiders. It really wasn't. But they did win, and they still have Josh Allen, still have Stephon Diggs. So I still think that they'll be like top of the AFC when it comes to playoff time. So those are my top. That's my top 10 right there.
Yeah. All right. I mean, maybe the Seahawks are a little high. Maybe the Bills are a little low. But I mean, I don't blame the Bills. Like, I feel like with their team, they're not very detail oriented. I feel like they miss a lot of the key details. But they're very talented. So they either blow you out or lose in a close game. So.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to some of the young QBs. Let's see how they're doing now. How they're faring through 2 weeks in the league. Some sophomores, some freshmen. So let's see how they're doing. We're gonna start off with Kenny Pickett. So far with his stats, he has a 60.5 completion percentage, 454 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Not very good stats, if I'm being honest. Below average completion percentage, negative touchdown and interception ratio. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I mean, he's just been struggling. Like the offense as a whole has been struggling. They have no running attack. I mean, he doesn't have help around him that much, like we mentioned in the game recap. But I mean, he's missing throws. Pickens was open on some routes, and he just didn't even find him. I mean, he
Right.
has to figure out. He has to find the open receivers, read the field better. Right now, it's not looking good. I'm grading him out so far this season as a D. Not doing so good for Kenny Pickett.
Okay, okay. Kenny Pickett, I mean, yeah, again, I agree with that. Not really, like, I don't know, man. That Steelers offense just doesn't really look good to me, though, anyways. So, um, dude, I was on Twitter, and Antonio Brown he's just been tweeting, like, he's been tweeting about the Steelers. He's been teasing out a return to the Steelers. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but he keeps like throwing shade at the Steelers offense. Like, these guys put up like 6 points, like 7 points. Like, it's been really funny. It's been really funny.
Uh,
But yeah, their defense put up 14 points, and then what? I think they kicked the field goal, so that's 17. They finished with 26 points. They had 9 offensive points. Or no, that doesn't even make sense.
the
Oh,
George
they
Pickens
kicked two
touchdown.
field, kicked 2 field goals, yeah, and they missed the extra point, right? I
Yeah,
think they mixed the extra. No. They went for two. They went for two and didn't get it.
yeah.
So they have 6 points. They have 6 points. The Steelers offense put up 6 points.
No, they're the touchdown. But yeah,
Yeah, to Pickens.
that's it. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
that's
bad.
it. They had a touchdown to Pickens. So I mean, the offense, like,
I mean, their
Kenny
defense
Pickett is
gave them really
not.
good field position too on multiple occasions, and they just
Yeah,
could
and he
not
just kicked
like make the
field
most of
goals.
it. It was
Kenny
just
Pickett's got a. So he gets a D for me. He gets a
yeah.
D. At
All right,
some point, it's got to be on the quarterback.
yeah. Moving on to Atlanta's Desmond Ridder, 68% completion percentage, 352 yards, 2 tutties, one pick. I mean, I feel like if the Falcons had a better quarterback, they would be a better team, to be honest. Like, but he's not playing bad. He just needs to do better finding Pitts and Drake London. That's like the biggest problems I have because like their running attack is pretty good. It's a really good offense with under Arthur Smith, but and he's not turning the ball over. 68% completion percentage. That's higher than the NFL average, so he's like doing pretty good there. But he's not finding his big targets, and they need to convert. He needs to find Pitts, Drake London, get them involved in the offense. That would really open up that offense and get them playing well. I'll give him a C though.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah, that was a good game between the Falcons and the Packers. Battle of two young quarterbacks. I think Jordan Love outplayed him. Um. But Desmond Ridder got the W. I mean, I think C is right for him. I really haven't like seen anything like wow out of him. Um. And it doesn't seem like he's gonna be taking any like major strides forward. So. Uh, Obviously, I don't really have too much to say about Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Sam Howell, 65.7 completion percentage, 501 yards, 3 touchdowns, one pick. I mean, so far he's been the best young quarterback out of the bunch. To be honest, like he's looking poised in the pocket.
I disagree.
I mean,
I
he's facing a
disagree.
lot of pressure, looking poised. He was made some big throws against the Broncos,
Yeah,
and I mean he's reading the field well, using like his weapons. Because they have a lot of good
right.
weapons on offense on that team, and I like what Bieniemy's scheming up for him. He's doing pretty good under Bieniemy, and I think he's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he led the comeback against the Broncos. They were down what, like 20-3 or 21-3, and they came back and won. He threw a
Yeah,
touchdown to, I want to say, I think Terry caught one.
yeah. Terry,
I'm
I think
not
Terry
sure
caught
though.
one.
Yeah, I know Brian Robinson ran two in, but Sam Howell, he led the comeback. So salute to him. I mean,
Yeah, I'm giving him a B
yeah,
plus.
Commanders start the season 2-0.
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
would have thought?
I said it before the year. Like, don't like watch out for
Yeah,
the Commanders. I mean, I didn't think they would be
they're
2-0,
always
but
gritty. They're always gritty. It's
yeah,
annoying.
watch out for the
Yeah.
Commanders. All right, now we got Bryce Young, 59.2 completion percentage. That's ugly. 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, the thing about him, honestly, he looks like he's like an eighth grader out there, or like a high
Yeah, he's
schooler. Like
super
he
small.
looks
He's super
tiny.
small.
He
Yeah.
gets knocked down easily. Like the littlest of contact, like knocks him down. Like, and he's not looking poised. He's not looking like he has control of the offense. Like it's not looking good
Yeah.
at all, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, he's also young. I think again, like a lot of with these young quarterbacks, it's hard to judge after 2 games. I think he'll get better with time, but I mean,
It's just
he's
hard because
not
like
he's not looking like the number 1 overall pick,
yeah.
in the 2023 draft. He's not looking like that.
I mean, like already in 2 games, like we're gonna move on to talk about these guys. It's like Sam Howell's played like 3 NFL games and is looking already pretty good. C.J.
Yeah.
Stroud, Anthony Richardson, like those. I mean, Brock Purdy came in last year right off
Yeah.
7th round, just started playing well. I feel like at this point, like if you don't show it soon, then it's gonna be a problem. I'm not
Right.
trying to say that Bryce Young's a
Yeah.
bust, but like we gotta. I mean, the NFL culture now, like I mean, sports culture. Kids are playing sports so much younger. Like there's so much more talented coming into the league, so much more experience in all the sports. So I feel like the time frame for their development is less. So
He may very well be the next Zach Wilson, just without like the terrible ego, just a bust. Who
yeah,
knows?
could be. I mean, he's very tiny. That's not
Yeah.
that's not good. All right, moving on to C.J. Stroud, 63.7 completion percentage, 626 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. I mean, so far he's looking pretty good. He's had. I mean, he has a lot less talent than some of his other rookies counterparts, but he's doing pretty well. Like 300 yard game. That's already more than Justin Fields has ever had. To be honest.
Seriously? Is
Yeah,
it?
Justin Fields has never
That's
threw the ball for
insane.
300 yards in a game,
That's crazy.
which is
Yeah, I don't know
crazy.
what's going on in Chicago. They look a mess.
Yeah,
But CJ Stroud, yeah, he's got a good connection brewing with Nico Collins,
yeah.
who honestly before this year I've never heard of. So
Never.
I don't even know if he's a rookie or I really don't know, but yeah, he's got a good connection. He's got a good connection brewing
Yeah.
with Nico Collins. They've definitely like they're building some chemistry there, and I think that the Texans. I like CJ Stroud. I like CJ Stroud.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Anthony Richardson, 63.8
Yeah.
completion percentage, 279 pass yards, 75 rushing yards, one touchdown through the air, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I was lower on him than most because I had a lot of fear with his accuracy and a lot of stuff about football because they didn't really play a lot in Florida. But honestly, Shane Steichen, the old Eagles offensive coordinator, is using him like a mega-sized Jalen Hurts. Like literally, like
Yeah.
3 touchdowns already. He needs to improve throwing, but that's a given for young quarterbacks. But Shane Steichen's scheming him up well, finding him ways to be successful, and I think it's looking pretty good for him. I'll give him a B.
Anthony Richardson seems the most comfortable to me out of all the quarterbacks. I think that he's played the best football. Um, uh, he played 17 snaps before he got injured with the concussion. 17 snaps, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, he seems comfortable to me. I think the Colts are cooking up something. And I think Anthony Richardson will be their future. I really like him. I really like Anthony
Yeah.
Richardson.
He looks really dynamic.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Jordan Love. 396 pass yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 picks, but a 55.8% completion percentage, which is very bad. I mean, I feel like he's getting carried by his team, if I'm being honest. Like those stats are looking good. He's not turning over the football. He's made some high level throws, but that completion percentage is not good. The Packers still have a pretty good team. Their O line is good. Pretty good defense. Still all left from when
Yeah.
Rodgers was there. So I feel like
Yeah.
he's game managing, and I feel like he's doing pretty
Yeah.
well at that. So not gonna give
I
him that
think
many
he's
points
playing
off.
well. I think he's playing well. I mean, Aaron Jones was hurt. He didn't
Hmm.
play against the Falcons. That was a good game. They were up 2 scores at the end of the game. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold on for the win. But Jordan Love looked pretty good to me. 6 touchdowns.
6.
That's pretty good through
Yeah.
2 games. That's pretty good through 2 games. I like Jordan Love. I feel like you can definitely like see like how comfortable he is
Yeah.
playing for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, he's been around that locker room for a few years now, so he knows like the standard, and he knows what they expect out of him, and he's only going to get better with more playing time, I think.
And like it's so rare for a quarterback to sit now in the modern NFL. So like seeing him sit and seeing him come in being so poised, being so looking experienced even though he's a rookie, looking a lot more comfortable than a lot of these other guys taking their first snaps. So I think that goes to show like maybe it's not such a bad thing to have a guy benched for a little bit. All
No.
right,
Yeah.
moving on to Justin Fields. 427 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, a 60.6 completion percentage, and let's see how many rush yards. Shit. And he got, let's see, 62 rush yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, the thing about Justin Fields, just like, I mean, some of those picks that he threw last game were like atrociously bad. And he's just not, he's played so many games already. He's played 19 game, wait, 29 games already in the NFL. And we haven't really seen him take the next step. We see guys like Jordan Love, Sam Howell, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson
Yeah.
already looking like they're more comfortable, already looking better than Justin Fields, reading the field better, and it's just not looking good for him. He's not throwing the ball well either.
Yeah. I mean, he's also missing a lot of throws. Like, he's just holding on to the ball unnecessarily. And he's just taking sacks. Like, it seems like he's just looking to run. Like, he just wants to run and scramble out of the pocket. Like, there was a couple. I kept seeing this one clip. I think it was early in the first quarter or something. Maybe it was like the start of the second half. But DJ Moore ran a quick out route. He missed them. I think maybe it was Khalil Herbert in the flat. He missed them, and he just ran into a sack. Like, literally just ran right into his offensive lineman. I don't know what's going on. Like, I genuinely thought that he was going to make a leap, like, from this offseason and coming into this season. But it just hadn't, like, there's just no growth. So.
Yeah. I mean, it might be time to ditch the Justin Fields experiment. I mean, this is last year, but so far it has not been looking good at all. And, like,
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate because, like, yeah, he has a lot of talent, but, like, he's just not reading the field well. He's holding onto the
No,
ball
he's
way
not.
too long. Like, way too
I
long. Like,
agree.
his
Yeah.
offensive line isn't the best, but it's not that bad that he needs to be doing that. So,
Yeah.
all right. I think now it's time to move on to our picks of the week.
Let's do it.
Last week, it was a rough week for me. Did good in week 1, not so good in week
Same.
2. 0 for 3. I had Cincy -3,
1 for
Giants
3. I went 1
-5.5,
for 3.
and Eagles -7. So that's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it's all right.
Couple of bad beats. Is
Yeah.
what it is. It happens.
I mean, the Eagles let the Vikings come back. The Giants just like got down big early,
Yeah, that
and
was
Cincinnati
nasty.
just aren't looking themselves. So,
No. Yeah.
all right,
You
for
want to
this,
start or me?
now you
You?
start. You start.
Me start? All right. My 3 picks for week 3. I've got Vikings -1.5 versus the Chargers. And these are all set lines on FanDuel. Vikings -1.5 versus the Chargers. Patriots -2.5 against the Jets. And then Lions -3.5 versus the Falcons.
Okay. I was thinking about the Detroit game, but we're gonna have different picks, so that's good. And if I was a smart bettor, I would bet on the Patriots this week, but I am a little delusional because I'm a Jets fan, so I'm just not gonna bet on that game, even though that's probably a good take. But I got the Rams plus 2.5 at the Bengals. Um, like I said before, the Rams are playing well. Bengals just lost Joe Burrow. Bengals are looking bad. I think the Rams are gonna come in there, and if I think that they'll win, but if not win, keep it a close game. Plus 2.5. I got the Rams. Next up, Dolphins minus 6.5 versus Denver in Miami. I don't know. Denver's not looking good at all. Russell Wilson's looking like a shell of himself. Sean Payton was supposed to like fix everything, but they're still looking like the team has a lot of problems. And that Dolphins offense is just so good. I think they're just gonna run all over
Yeah.
the field. Minus 6.5. I think that they'll win by a touchdown at least. So that's a good line. Ravens minus 7.5 versus the Colts. This might change depending on Anthony Richardson's status. Might even go down later in the week
Yeah,
because minus seven and a
I
half is
agree.
big. But
I think if Anthony Richardson plays, I would take Colts plus 7.5.
yeah, I mean, I'm playing it as it is for now, so like we'll see. But I just think without Anthony Richardson, the Ravens are playing really well. 25 plus points in back-to-back weeks. I think they could do that again.
Yeah,
And their
and they're in
defense,
Baltimore.
yeah, at Baltimore. So then the defense could stifle the Colts. So I could see them
Yeah.
winning by more than a touchdown. And I could see this line even dropping down a little bit. So it'll be maybe minus 6.5. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Thursday night football preview.
Thursday night football preview. Thursday night football. Giants at 49ers.
Giants plus 10. Niners minus 10.
I have the Giants coming into San Francisco and shocking the world.
No way.
I have the Giants shocking the world in San Francisco, beating the 49ers 27-24. I think that the Giants coming to San Francisco, the defense balls out like it's supposed to be doing. I think that they come up with some big stops. I think that they limit Christian McCaffrey. Not too much. I think that Christian McCaffrey will probably score all their touchdowns, honestly. Not all the touchdowns, but like good two. I'll give Christian McCaffrey a good two. I think Daniel Jones comes in there. He rushes for 2 touchdowns, throws for 1, and the Giants win 27-4. That's what I have it. And I'm sticking by it.
I think this might be another Dallas game for the Giants. I think it
No way.
could get ugly. The 49ers
No
are very
way.
talented on defense. They could just destroy Daniel Jones. No Saquon. I don't know what's their answers on offense, and then on defense for the Giants. Like I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau's not looking that good. There's no way they're gonna be able to like really pressure Brock Purdy that much. He's gonna find his open guys. I think it might be a romping, like maybe another 30-10.
I disagree. It's okay though.
It's all right. It's all right to
Yeah, it's
disagree.
all right.
That's
It's
why.
okay. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens after Thursday. All right. Thank you for tuning in. It was a lot of fun to talk about all this stuff with you guys. Make sure you've clicked the follow button, subscribe, like the video, comment, and be sure to tune in next Wednesday for another episode of the LionEyes.tv podcast. We'll go over week 3. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.